Hello, 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 and happy Wednesday, everybody. We've already got lots and lots and lots of gals on already. That's awesome. People mostly from YouTube, because when I set up the live stream on YouTube, it actually posts. So if you ever have trouble finding us live on Facebook and you have to go back and you have to do the refresh and refresh and refresh, try watching live on YouTube. Just go to youtube.com, go to the Creative Memories page, and you'll actually see it come up. So hello, everyone. Yes, I'm seeing lots and lots of greetings. There's Sharon from the UK. We've got New Jersey, Illinois, Ohio, Florida, Texas. I know that a lot of you guys in the southern states and all across the states, for that matter, are having heat waves. We are having a heat wave here too this week, up to 34 degrees Celsius, which is pretty hot for our mountainous region. So I feel you. I can't even imagine how some of you are doing. I hope you're staying cool. I hope you're, scrapbooking in your basement, or, you've got the fan or the air conditioning on, shade, all that kind of stuff. So stay hydrated, try to stay cool, and have some fun scrapping. Hello, everybody. Yes, I see lots more people. There's Carrie from Australia. Hi, Carrie. Good to see you. Maine, Texas, Colorado, New Hampshire, California. Looking forward to today, because I think it will kind of help to cool you off. We are actually going to be talking about Halloween. We talked about Christmas in July. We're going to talk about Halloween here today. But I think I have neglected to introduce myself. So if we haven't met before, my name is Noreen Smith. I'm the Product Development Creative Manager at Creative Memories. And it's always my pleasure every Wednesday to get together with you and do some fast and fun projects. And of course, we are in week number 7 of our 9-week Sizzlin Summer Challenge. And if it's the first time you're joining us, no worries. You still have an opportunity to get caught up and get in on the grand prize drawing that we'll be having a couple of weeks from now. We'll definitely let you know how that's all going to work near the end of the month. So don't stress too much. Don't forget to download, and I think I left my copy over there, so I'm not going to grab it, but don't forget to go to the links in the description to download your copy of the Sizzlin Summer Challenge coloring sheet. Keep track of your challenges as you go along, color them in, have some fun with that, and then we'll be calling for you to post a picture of your completed sheet. But don't post it yet. We will let you know where and when and how to post it. So just keep on coloring, keep on completing, and watch the Facebook group after August 30th. Okay? All right. Hello, everyone. We've got so many gals on, so many familiar names and faces and places. I love seeing everybody. I have to tell you, though, that I loved seeing all of the albums created last week. Amazing. I enjoy scrolling through and watching the completed album challenges, but I think there was even more albums created last week using the 12 by 12 fast album formula. So many different themes, so many different takes on them. Some people went, really plain and just used the strips that we show in the formula. Some of you went ahead and punched, like we were talking about last week. Some of you used, background paper, pattern paper, that kind of thing. Some of you put photo mats on. Some of you had photos ready to go, which I'm always impressed with. And some of you just, have it ready to go for another day. I do want to address, it kind of stirred up a lot of discussion about pre-making pages versus, scrapbooking with your photos ready and creating the pages as you go. So I do want to kind of let you in on this thought. Even if you scrapbook chronologically, you can still use the fast album formulas. Again, for 8 by 8, 6.75 by 10, or 12 by 12. Even if you are, going page by page, those sketches and basically the 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3 cutting method of the individual papers. Those can be adapted into quick pages at any time. So you certainly don't have to make the whole album ahead of time and then go back and try and fit your photos in. The other thing I said, and again, just trying to, make sure that people are thinking about how it can be adapted for their method of scrapbooking. But you can go ahead and put the strips, the sort of pattern paper, decorative pieces on the pages without adding any of the photo spots. You don't have to put in, cardstock mats or anything like that. And then you've basically got your own DIY pre-made fast to fab album. And then when it comes time to add your photos, you don't need to follow the suggested photo placement that was in the sketches. You can adapt and fit the photos that you're using anywhere on those base pages, just like fast to fab pages. Okay, so if you were struggling with that, or if that prevented you from trying the 12 by 12 fast album formula, do give that some thought. See if that can be, kind of adapted to your own way of scrapbooking. We never want to tell anybody how to scrapbook, right? There's no right and wrong. We just do what our heart tells us to. But this may be something that you can use at some point, whether it's page by page, or you create the whole album ahead, or you are working with those sketches with your photos, okay? The whole goal is to give you some additional quick options for getting pages done, getting pages and albums done. So that's what we're all about. So I wanted to give a shout out to everybody, but let's talk about the winners, and let's talk about what the winners will be getting. You'll remember that last week, the Screamin' Fast and Fun deal was the staycation bundle, and we have 2 staycation bundles to award to our winners, which are Regina L. Ganaway. Again, hope I'm saying that right, Regina. Thank you so much. And Karen Flowers Kagan. So congratulations to both Regina and Karen. Someone from home office will reach out to you, probably Nicole or Sonia, and they will sort out how to get your staycation bundle Sizzlin Summer 6 challenge prizes to you. So thanks again for playing along. I so enjoyed seeing so many of those albums, and I have to say too, I think it was Donna who sent me lots of love, and then there was lots and lots of comments in her post about how how great it was. So again, my goal is to help you get these things done fast and have fun doing it. Okay, so thank you, Donna. Thank you, everybody, for your positive comments. And thank you, of course, for posting. That's what we love to see. Okay, and that brings me to just a reminder. Again, YouTube is a great place to watch us live. YouTube is an awesome place to check the playlists. But Facebook, the Virtual Crop Facebook group, is where you're going to see all of those inspirational posts that everybody is sharing. And also, of course, that's where you're going to, be eligible for the prizes when you post. So again, make sure you're following on both platforms because there's great things about both. Okay, are we ready? Like we said, we looked at Christmas. We had Christmas in July. We celebrated Christmas in July. Now we're coming a little bit closer to fall. And, we're going to wish you a happy Halloween a couple of months in advance with some irresistible projects and promos. So this week, I wanted to tell you that our Screamin' Fast and Fun deal is a fantastic bundle of our Halloween products. Happy Hauntings. There's paper pack, stickers, and laser cut embellishments, and Full Moon Fun, paper pack and stickers. So those are live on the CM website. So make sure you go to the CM website foryourcountry.com.ca or au.com and check out the Screamin' deals. Remember that the Fast and Fun deals are only available until noon on Friday. So they're fast and they're fun and they're awesome. So that's what I'm going to be playing around with today to get us in that Halloween scary good mood. And like I said, if it's really super hot where you are, maybe thinking about, the fall will cool you down just a bit. I have to say, growing up and living in Calgary all my life, Halloween was, hit or miss where we live, because some days it would be like -30 and you couldn't go out in your costume, right? You'd have to like put on your toque, and you'd have your scarf wrapped up, and you'd have so many layers under your costume. You were kind of like walking super stiff. So it makes me feel cool, that's for sure. Those memories cool me down immeasurably. So anyways, I digress. Let's get into it. And we're going to specifically focus on grids today. So our challenge is kind of Halloween, but we're going to be talking about grids, and I've titled it Ghostly Grids so that it kind of connects. But I want to talk about why I love grids so much. So let me just flip you over to my table here, and I'm going to go through a couple of examples. I want to talk about why grids are so fabulous, give you a few examples to think about. I want to show you a fun Halloween grid that I've already made, and then we're going to put one together. Okay, so let's do this. So grids themselves, they are nothing new. Any search on Pinterest or Googling, scrapbook layouts, inevitably you'll find a grid. And our 12 by 12 size of scrapbooking really lends itself very well to grids. So you could do, these are 3.75, so 3 3/4 inch squares. And we get that great 9 grid. You could do smaller, like 2.75, 2 3/4, 4 of them. So it's like a 16 grid. That's really fun too, but it gets a little small. So this is kind of my preferred size that I like working with. And I love the look of 9. It reminds me of tic-tac-toe, but I love the way that you can fit so many things into this. So each of these squares then really becomes like a little home. And I can put photos in them. I can put journaling in them. I can put embellishment clusters in them, something decorative and fun. I love how it kind of contains things in their own little space. They're easy as well because, again, once you've determined your size, you're just cutting and arranging, 9 of the same size. I also love that it's a really efficient use of paper. So here I've got, one base page, and then one piece of cardstock or designer paper that's 12 by 12 as well can be cut into all of the pieces. I can get all 9 pieces from that one piece of cardstock. So it's very efficient for my use of paper. And then the last reason I'll share that I really love working with grids is that I can use both horizontal and vertical photos, right? So if I have, a portrait style 4 by 6 or a landscape style 6 by 4, I can cut either of them down into, that 3 3/4 or 3.5, etc. Okay, so I love that I don't really have to worry about my photo size. As long as I've got photos that I can cut down and crop, I'm going to be good. So I love, love, love that. So those are some of the reasons I love grids. I also like the fact that I can arrange them really symmetrically and orderly. That's very easy on the eyes when you have those nice, even margins. But I could also tilt and kind of make it more whimsical by, just setting some of them sort of offside as well. So they're very, very versatile. They're going to work for any theme, of course, because you can use them for with any photos and any paper. Okay, so this is a really basic one. Nice even margins, not a lot of background showing. 3 3/4 inch size squares. Again, can be photos, can be pattern paper, can be embellishment clusters, can be journal boxes. Okay, so that's the first one I like. It's very nice and straightforward. It maybe lacks a little bit of visual interest. So I also like just scaling down my squares just a little bit. These are 3.5 inch squares, so still 9 squares. But you see the difference, we get just a little bit more of a border or an edge around the squares, and we've got just a little bit more breathing room between each square. So I often will work with that 3.5, that 3.5 inch size. Same benefits, just slightly different. And then, of course, you can make it more decorative as well. And again, more visually interesting. While these two would basically just use, two pieces of paper, a base, and then whatever you use to cut out your squares from. This has a 12 by 12 inch base, then an 11-inch square layer, and then these are 3-inch squares. So you can see that it concentrates things a little bit more into the center. So very pretty though, and really a nice way to create, more visual interest than some of the basic grids. Okay, so you can't go wrong with a grid, whether it's 9 grids like I'm showing, or 16 grids, or even, a grid that would have 4, maybe 5.5 by 5.5. So like a 4-block grid. Those are great ways to, again, organize your photos, organize the other items you're putting on your page, and create a really holistically symmetrical layout. Again, easy on the eyes. Symmetry is always really easy on the eyes. And as I mentioned, if you create some movement by, I've got these attached a little bit firmly, but if you decided to create a little bit of movement by angling some of these, it becomes more of a dynamic. So we call it static when everything is very parallel to the edges, straight up and down. And we call it dynamic when we have those askew pieces, because it creates a sense of movement. Anytime there's angles or diagonals, we have that sense of movement. Okay, so I took the idea of the 9 square here, and in particular this sort of layered look, and I created something fun for Halloween. Is it right below? It is. And I want to tell you a little bit about it, because this is not a layout as such. It's more of a decorative sampler idea. And my good friend Karen McDermott Rolfe turned me on to these sort of seasonal samplers many years ago. And I love doing these and putting this kind of a home decor piece up in a frame in my home. So I have a couple of very old Oldco CM frames that fit 12 by 12 layouts. So I love to make these for the different seasons and then change them out. This is really fun as well when you have a lot of different embellishments. If you've got leftovers, that kind of thing, it's fun to kind of create these little vignettes of embellishments. And if you are an advisor, this is actually a great way to showcase a collection. So you can use a variety of different papers. You can have a bunch of different embellishments there. And people can, it really draws the eye. And people come over and say, oh, what is this? And you can tell them that, this is a kind of a selection from the Happy Hauntings collection. And, there's a few of the papers on here, and you can see all the great sticker embellishments, plus some of the die cut embellishments. So it really becomes kind of a talking point if you are a CM advisor. And again, it's a great way to incorporate your scrappy products into your home decor. Plus, I love this idea as a title page. Now, maybe I wouldn't do a Halloween title page unless I had a whole album devoted to Halloween photos. But wouldn't this be a great title page with some fun embellishments and maybe the title in the center? Maybe it's, McAllister Family 2023 album or whatever. But this sort of grid with all of these fun, interesting little vignettes, little sort of snippets about a theme that all relate back to a theme. This can be a super, super fun way to create a title page. So, and again, I love it because sometimes, I'm going to throw this out there, sometimes I want to play with my products, but I don't necessarily have any photos to go with it. Yeah, so I'm just seeing a bunch of different comments. I think I will do that with Croptoberfest products for my event. Yes, great way to showcase those. Jennifer's saying she's made these seasonal layouts and she does hang them up. So again, great home decor items. Love these. Thanks, Debbie. Again, my good friend Karen has made these many, many different times for many years. So she was the one that really turned me on to these. Of course, like I said, if you scroll through Pinterest, if you look for scrapbook sampler, you'll see a really wide variety of this style of project. Okay. And then Bev is also saying grids work really well with old square Instamatic photos. Yes. So if you have square photos, definitely take advantage of a grid. Somebody else is saying perfect for seasonal welcome board or DIY calendars. Yes, wouldn't this be a great facing page for a calendar page, for example? Yeah, so, and someone else is saying spring, summer, fall, winter. Yeah, you could definitely do them for the seasons or for holidays. So this is a fun project. Again, focusing on the grid, but playing a lot with those lovely, lovely products that, you know, maybe you have left over, or maybe you're going to buy just a sticker pack, you know, just to play with this and create a little sampler. Okay, so that's one way that we can use a grid. But now I want to switch to our other Halloween paper packs. So again, I mentioned that both Happy Hauntings and Full Moon Fun are part of the bundle, the Fast and Fun bundle that's being offered. And again, if you kind of are comparing them, Happy Hauntings is a bit richer and deeper tones, darker oranges and purples, moody night skies, kind of has that sort of sophisticated, almost like Edgar Allan Poe feel to it. Whereas Full Moon Fun is a bit cuter, a bit lighter. It still has, you know, the greens and oranges, but it has kind of a more friendly sort of feel to it. So I'm going to be using Full Moon Fun, and we're going to do a grid layout with some photos of my son. This is my 18-year-old, but this was when he was, well, this was 2008, so he was 3. So yeah, it's always fun to go back, and I've, you know, had lots of fun kind of pulling these photos. There he is with his granddad. He could not believe that he would go out and people would actually give him candy, and he's like, "Mom, can I really eat this?" And, you know, there we are heading out to do some trick-or-treating. So I found those, and I've already kind of printed them and cropped them. I have cropped them to, let's double check, 3.25, so 3 1/4, with the exception of this one, because he was just standing against a white background. So I actually cropped that to 3 inches. And then I've already matted it. So this is going to kind of be the pride of place here in the middle. So I'm just going to move these over, and I'm going to attach my base page to my 13 by 13 inch mat. I'm going to use this fun sort of dark gray paper with the moons. And, you know, the 13 by 13 inch mats are fantastic to use with the grid. When I was doing up these sample pages for you, just to show some examples, it was really easy to just, let me get that square off and I'll just show you. It was really easy to just kind of look and say, okay, I want them to be 1/2 inch in and 1/2 inch down. So I'd line it up at the top there and just kind of pull it down until it was at the 1/2 inch. So it's really helpful to have those markings all the way around whenever you're doing something like a grid. Okay, so I think I'm going to put that in the middle, but I also cut some of the different papers. So I think what I'm going to do, these are again 3 1/4. So I think I'm going to kind of make my sort of my tic-tac-toe base here. And I may have to, I don't think I'm going to layer it. I think I'm just going to use the one page as the background. So I'm just going to put these there for now. And then, as I said, I've double matted this one. So he's going to go in the middle there, that little cutie patootie with the big smile. And then I've got some green, and I'm going to use this kind of brighter green here. And There is a subtle pattern on there, so I do kind of want the pattern to be going the same direction. So that's going to be my grid, okay? And then I have a couple other photos. So again, maybe Grandpa and Grayson are going to go down here. And actually, no, maybe I'll put that up top here, up higher. It'll tell a little bit of a story, because this whole business of, you know, the candy, I maybe didn't cut that one down quite enough. This whole business of the candy kind of, you know, becomes a bit of a story, and I want to keep those two together. And I don't want to fill all of these spaces because, again, I want to play with some of my products, okay? So I'm going to leave, I think, 4 empty for now, and I'll just kind of plan around and we'll see how it looks. But I like that. I like how that one is double matted, so it kind of takes pride of place. These two kind of go together because, you know, he's got his candy. I could put, you know, maybe a title there because he's, you know, with me and with Grandpa. And then one of the other reasons I actually chose to do this size for this layout, the 3.5 inch squares, is because when I looked at the cut apart sheet, these little cut aparts are actually 3 inches, just a tad more than 3 inches. So I thought if I do larger squares, they're not going to work out as well. But if they're 3 inches wide, I could cut some of these down into smaller pieces. So I've taken that particular cut apart, cut it down to 3 inches square, and I can place it onto one of the squares again with kind of a layered look. And I do have a few more squares, the same papers, but I'm going to flip them over so that I can matte, you know, kind of create again a little bit of a layered matte look. Let me just attach these together so they're not sliding all over the place. Okay, so something like that. So again, I get the benefit of having that little pre-made journal box, but I've cut it down and layered it up. So I can also, of course, you know, do any of these other, you know, little additional layers. So I've got some 3.25 inch squares if I decide I want something else. And I think I'm actually going to just jiggle things around. I think I want one of the, yeah, I definitely cut that wrong, but I'll trim it down before I adhere it. I definitely want at least one of the orange papers showing. So when I had the photo there, it was all green papers showing. So I could also just kind of layer a couple more things, something like that. So I've got some layering pieces to do as I like. Okay, so that's kind of the base. Let's talk a little bit about some embellishments. But I also want to add some fun things that I'm cutting out or punching out, kind of DIYing. So for those of you who have already taken a quick peek on the website, you will notice that 2 additional products are included with the Fast and Fun deals this week. So the Spider Webs frame punch and the Bats and Stars border maker cartridge. So again, you can get the bundle of all of the decorative products. The punches are not included in the bundle, but they are also on sale. So you'll want to take advantage of those if you don't already have these. So I'm going to play with these punches first, and we're going to make a couple of fun little additions. And I just want to kind of show you what I have in mind. So with the spider web frame punch, of course I can make a border, and I can also make a frame. So I could punch a little frame, and that actually would have worked quite well for just this little headshot of Grayson. I could trim that one down and put it in the center. But one of the things I also like to do with the spiderwebs frame is to create little spiderwebs. And again, sometimes our punches are just the most versatile thing ever. So let me show you how to create both of these little fun accents, and then I'll put them on my page. So let's start with this one. I'm not going to go ahead and punch a border because I want to make some border pieces with my bats and stars. So I'm going to start for this one with a 4x4 square. Now the fun thing about the frame punches is they look just like the border punches, but you can see on the side that there are two silver lines printed kind of in between. They're kind of mixed in with the actual pictures that are printed there. So those lines printed on the base plates are your guides to creating frames. Remember that the black lines on the front are your guides for creating borders. So here we're going to go ahead and we're going to take the 4x4 square. We're going to place it into the punch and we're going to line the edge up with that silver line on the base. And you're going to notice that the space between the two lines is actually 4 inches. So basically I'm lining up my little 4-inch square between the two silver lines, punching. You can see what that looks like when it comes out. I'm going to give it a turn, and then the edge of this little tab goes back in, lines up with the silver lines. Okay, starting to see it happen now. Another turn, another punch. Isn't that cute? And there we go, one last punch, and we've got a great little frame. So I love that. That would have been really cute for that photo of Grayson. Now to make the little sort of stand-alone spider web, we're actually going to use some 2-inch by 2-inch squares, but we need a little helper. We need a little handle. So I've got a sticky note here, and I'm just going to cut it in half to make myself a little handle. And I'm just going to place it on the edge of one of my 2x2-inch squares. Now, we have to be careful doing this because we don't want all of these little debris bits to go into the punch, but we have to flip the punch over so that we can see where we're placing this. So I'm going to hold my handle, I'm going to slide my paper in, and I'm going to line it up basically with the outside edges of the punch, the silver or the metallic area. So I'm just tilting it to myself here so I can see. And let me see if I can give you a better look. So I've just lined up the 2-inch square with these outer edges. Then I'm going to flip it over and punch. Okay, so I've got one side of my little spider web. So now I'm going to take the handle off, flip it over to the other side, and we're going to do the same thing. And I'm going to do my best to try and line it up. Sorry, I should have that on against some white for contrast. I'm going to do my best to line it up with the spots that I've already punched. Okay, so I'm going to go in. I know this is not going to show up on camera very well, but I'm just kind of trying to line it up as best I can. I squeeze it to hold it in place. I turn it over and punch so all the debris falls out. All right, let's see if I did a good job or not. Not bad, not bad. I'm using little scraps of black cardstock, so I could make a couple more if I didn't think they looked the best. But isn't that fun? I love creating that little spider web. So I think my little spider web's going to live up in the corner there. Okay, I'm going to hang on to this. I may switch it out. We'll see. So let's go ahead and make one more because maybe I want 2 spider webs. So again, got my handle, line it up, and then just move my handle to the other side. Post-its are a staple in your craft room. There's so many little helpful things that they can do with it. That one's a little better. Okay, so maybe I'm going to have my 2 little spider webs just like that. Okay, so that's fun with the spider web frame punch. Let me get rid of all these little debris pieces here. Let's talk about the Bats and Stars Border Maker cartridge. So I'm just going to go ahead and punch a length of the Bats and Stars from some black cardstock. And again, if you have not used the original Border Maker system before, you've got your paper tray. I'll do that again. We're just going to flip open the paper tray, lift up the magnetic arm, and we're going to slide our paper, just some black cardstock in this case, in so that it fits in the corners. Place the magnetic arm down to hold it in place, and then you're going to just flip that black or gray paper tray out of the way. Then your cartridge goes into the cartridge holder with the teeth out. And you'll hear it click, and that's what creates the punch. Now the teeth on here are going to interlock with these little notches on the back of the original Boilermaker system. So if you haven't seen this, you're definitely going to want to ask your advisor about it. If you haven't used it for a long time, I challenge you to get it out and play around with it. If it's intimidated you, just grab some practice paper and practice using it, because as soon as you feel those teeth lock into place, you'll be set to go. And then you're going to it's going to become like second nature, and you're going to be able to just swish on down the length of your paper. Okay? Now this one is fun because it's going to give us all of these fun little bats. I know they're small, but they are great for decorating. Right, I've got a little one here. I can add another little bat to my journal box there. And it's got some stars too. So again, they're tiny, but use your multi-purpose tool, use your repositionable adhesive, and you can save these. And of course, they make excellent Valentine favor confetti. So go ahead and punch a bunch of those and add them to your Valentine treats. Okay, so you can see that this is an edge punch and a punch out style. So it punched out the little bats and stars without punching a strip off of the edge of the paper. So it's an edge style and a punch out style. So now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to, I think I'm going to just trim it to 1 inch and 1/8. Maybe it's 1/16. I'm never good at those little numbers. And now we've got a great border. So I think what I would like to do is actually cut some of these border pieces to the same size as my squares, which if you remember, 3.25. Now I just want to show you something. If I cut it from the edge, it looks kind of incomplete because one edge is cutting in between the bat, right? But the other edge, you can see the whole bat. So what I would do is I would make both sides incomplete. So just trim off an edge, kind of random, and then you can go ahead. Did I say 3.25? I think I did. 3.5, sorry, 3.5. And then I'm going to trim my 3.5, and then it looks as though basically it would continue on. So that is the way I prefer to use anything like the border cartridges in a little grid style. I like to cut off both edges so it doesn't look like I've used, the proper edge of one and then the cut off edge of another. So I'm liking how this is coming together. I've got a couple of little pops of black here. I think I'm going to take that one off just because I need to have some room to write. So now we can go ahead and just kind of finish this off. And obviously, we're going to want something to pop these off the page. How many of you are loving the new variety packs of foam squares? I absolutely love them. So you can see that you get large, slightly less large, medium, and small. So the actual measurements are listed here, but you see that you get 2 sheets the same. One is sticking to my nail here, but you get 2 sheets the same. And I mean, I love foam squares no matter what size they are, but I absolutely think that these are great because if you've got something big, you just need 1 or 2 of the large size, but you still have the option of all the little ones. So I think it's great. All right. So let's look at what we have. I think I would like something cute, and I would like something maybe about trick-or-treating, or, something like spooky cute or too cute or, something like that. So I've got, there's a trick-or-treat one, My Little Pumpkin. So he definitely is my little pumpkin here. I love that little hat with the little stem off the top. We've got Happy Halloween. Feline Magic wouldn't necessarily work. This is a cute one. It's a little tag. That would fill up a space quite nicely. But I think I might want this Trick or Treat. Because again, this was the first time. Or maybe Gimme All the Candy. Right? That Gimme All the Candy is kind of fun too. So one of those two I think I'd like. And then I did see, oh my gosh, this guy is so cute. This little jack-o'-lantern, and he's just a really cute little jack-o'-lantern as well, with all the candy inside. So I'm kind of thinking maybe these two would make a great little title. So maybe those are going to go there. Oh, and look at this. That would be kind of fun for it to kind of overlap. That I kind of like that. I can incorporate the little spider web plus the trick or treat plus the jack-o'-lantern. So I think that will be what I want to do. Again, I love just kind of grouping the stickers with my fingers. So I've attached these two stickers, and then I'll flip them over and put some foam squares on them. A couple of different sizes, stick into my fingers. Okay, so, and I kind of like the way that that looks, just kind of layered over. Now you'll notice there, and on the little sampler that I did, that I wasn't afraid to make some of the embellishments go outside the edges of the square, okay, or overlapping some of the squares. And again, that just provides visual interest, movement, right? So for example, this something wicked this way comes, moves the eye over. And again, it kind of bridges some of these. So don't be afraid to hang, or let some of these little embellishments kind of go off the edge. I like the look of this where it stays on the edge, but I also like the look of this that goes off the edge. Okay, so I'm going to do journaling down here. I've got kind of my little title. Let's see if we can kind of come up with something fun here. This is darling as well. This little house, that would be so much fun. Okay, so I could use my large foam squares, but I can also pull out my foam tape, which I often will do if I've got something that's a little bit bigger. And this way I can do it in kind of even less time. So I'm just cutting it with my scissors. Oh. And then I'll stick one small one up here at the top of my haunted house. So again, I can kind of overlap that little spider web, and that's really cute. And then I've already got my little bat, but I do have some bat stickers here if I wanted to add those in. And then let me see. Oh, yeah, there's some ghosts. You barely see them because they are white on the white stickers. Where did my multi-purpose tool go? There it is. You just kind of have to poke out their eyes and their mouth so that it kind of you can see through it. So I'm just going to grab my foam squares again. I can use the smaller one on the back here. And I think a couple of little ghosties kind of flying above here. And I could even, after I get those adhered, I could even take my black pen and just kind of, have a couple of little movement lines here. Okay, there's another one. Poke out the mouth and the eyes. Mouth didn't kind of come out there. Sorry. Stay tuned for technical difficulties, right? And again, another little foam square. So that would be kind of fun to have those little guys there. I feel like I just need something over here too. Maybe I'll have one more. There's 3 little ghosts. So I could have one more little ghost over at the side here. Maybe he's flying out of the house. And again, just repeating some of the colors, some of the elements throughout your little vignettes is going to really kind of connect everything. So I've got a few spaces where I've got white. I could add something a little bit with the white around it down here, like maybe one of the candies. You know, that would bring in some of the white down there as well. Okay, so maybe I'll do something like that. And then I think I'm calling that done. It's really not a lot on there, but because we've got so many little sections, it provides a lot of interest. And again, all of these little fun little sprinkle stickers, as we would call them, are great to add in to enhance an area that doesn't have a certain color. So here, this has a lot of orange, so I wouldn't hesitate to put a little green sprinkle sticker here. This one doesn't have any orange on it, so maybe I could get a couple of little orange dashes or splashes. I don't even know what you'd call these. Maybe I'd put one there, maybe one, yeah, about here. Okay. So something like that. Here I've got the green and orange. Obviously I've got photos there. Here I've got green and orange. So now I'm a little bit more balanced. Okay. And again, this is where maybe we decide, you know what? I think this is going to go in the center, just to, again, balance out some of the colors. That sort of spreads around the brighter orange that you see in the photos. So it's all about, again, trying to kind of balance your colors, balance your, photos. I've got an uneven number of photos. I've got 5 here. But if I had 6, maybe I'd do 2, 2, and 2 so that it kind of creates a bit of a pattern. But here I like this because, you've got photos and then you've got the title. You kind of come down here because that little spider web kind of creates a little bit of tension. You've got more black over here, so it draws you across. And then your last couple of photos kind of bounce you back and forth across that journal box. So I think that's probably what I'm going to go with. I may end up adding, just a couple more of those little sprinkles afterwards, or again, maybe some more of these little bats and things that we punched out. But there is our 2 very different little ghostly grids. One featuring happy hauntings and really based on the idea of a sampler, a seasonal sort of celebration, a home decor item, a title page, a display if you're an advisor, of all of those fun things. And then this one is a more traditional type of layout with lots of photos, room for journaling, and lots of fun things on it still. I absolutely think that's adorable, and that's definitely going into Grayson's album. So whichever way you go, whether you go with Happy Hauntings or Full Moon Fun, whether you create, kind of a grid layout that is for decor or, a layout for your album, I think these grids are really easy to work with and to create something that's a little bit different than, kind of our normal sort of layouts. So I hope you give those a try. I absolutely love grids. I come back to them time and time again. And I will say that some of you who have taken courses with me, even years ago, 2018, 2019, we talked about grids then as well. So it's something that I always like to bring forward and look at in a fresh new way, because really, why not? Why do we always need to feel the need to reinvent the wheel? Do something you love, reinvent it with new products, new photos, that kind of thing. And again, nobody is going to say when they're flipping through their album, oh, I saw that you did a grid layout, 3 albums ago. So don't be hard on yourself. When you find something that works, definitely lean into it and use it, because it's quick, it's easy, and the results are going to be great. Okay, so definitely think about that. Okay, so that's it for today. I'll definitely go back and have a look if there's any questions, but a few things to remember. This is Sizzlin Summer Challenge number 7. Sizzlin Summer 7. So you're going to want to create a Halloween page or project. You can use the grid, you cannot use the grid. Don't worry about that. Really, it's kind of that focus on, something. Well, actually, I'll say this. If you want to use a grid and do a different theme, you can do that too. So Halloween or something with the grid. Okay, that will be our challenge. So make sure that you get your projects posted with the hashtag Sizzlin Summer Sizzlin Summer 7, and you need to do that by next Tuesday, which is August 22nd. Let me just double check. Yes, Tuesday, August 22nd, 11:59 p.m. Central Time, and we will announce the winners next Wednesday, which is August 23rd. And that will be Sizzlin Summer 8. So we only have 2 more. Can you believe it? Man, it goes fast. It goes fast. Also, don't forget that if you want to take advantage of the Fast and Fun deals, those are only available until Friday at noon. So that's Friday, August 18th at noon. That's Central Time. So don't get caught if you want to grab those while they're on that screaming deal, the scary good, wicked awesome deal. You definitely want to get over there and purchase them. Okay? All right, I'm just scanning my list here. We did winners. We talked about last week. We talked about grids, why they're great. I reviewed everything you need to remember for Sizzlin Summer 7. So I think that's it for me today. So enjoy your week. Have fun thinking about spooky good memories of Halloween, or even prepping for this coming Halloween with creating that home decor sampler, and just enjoy it. Have lots and lots of fun, and I can't wait to see what you create. It's always amazing, so I love it. All right, I'm going to sign off for now. Have a great week. We will see you next Wednesday, August 23rd. Thanks for spending your time with me today. Bye for now, everybody.